Hey, welcome into the Stinkin podcast. Mark Schlereth alongside my partner, Mike Evans. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Make sure you subscribe, listen, share with your friends, tell everybody. We're trying to grow this thing. So, Mike, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, but it's weird looking at you.
I know.
I mean, look at him. Look at him, folks.
I know.
Look at this guy.
Got a shirt on.
No sweatshirt, no greasy baseball hat.
I know.
You got nice shirt.
Yeah.
Look at that lettuce. Great head of hair. What's going on? Wait, you decided to finally class up the podcast?
Yeah,
Why
no. So my pastor reached out to me a month ago or whatever and said, hey, man, if you're in town, we're having this event at the church where we are bringing a bunch of local pastors in and kind of, it's kind of a thank you for what you do and like a conference, pastor's conference. So would you come in and speak? And so I said, absolutely. So it's funny because we were doing our radio show and Stokely's like, how many people are going to be there? How many pastors are going to be there? I was like, I don't know. He's like, I mean, is there 15? Is there 50? Is there 100? I was like, I don't know. And what do you talk? I don't know. Like, me, I just did.
I just want to know how much you're charging these pastors.
Listen. This is not my normal rate. Like if I was charging you, like if you were asking me to speak at whatever high school you do fundraising for. What's
Green Mountain High School,
Green Mountain High School,
Colorado.
Right? You know, you would like I would give you the full price.
Yes. I don't get off my couch for less than this price.
Right. No.
But you're going to waive that fee.
I waived it. I waived.
Look how generous this guy is.
When Jacob calls, my pastor Jacob calls and says, "Hey man, can you do me? I'm doing him a solid.
That's
I'm
awesome.
going to do him a solid.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
And it's good that you're getting a chance to meet with some people of the cloth before you go to Vegas tomorrow. Might want to circle back and visit with them after.
No. Vegas is although we are going to the Eagles concert in the Sphere.
That's going to be fun.
My producer got us tickets to go to the Sphere to go see the Eagles.
Okay.
I mean, how good is that going to be? Have you been to the Sphere?
No.
Dude,
yeah.
It's the most. Like I went last year. My wife sent me. As you know, my daughter is good friends with Bono's daughter from U2, and she knows that I really like U2, and so she bought tickets, and we went to U2
I heard
in
that
the
was
Sphere.
an amazing show.
It's it literally once you do it there, you can't. I mean, the visual, the auditory experience, it's like nothing you've ever been at. It's one of the it just transforms you. It takes you to places like all of a sudden you're in the middle of the desert. Like the whole place I can't even explain it. It's one of the coolest things I have ever seen. And I was like, well, that's it for my concert going. Like I'll never go to another concert unless it's at the Sphere.
Right.
So I'm going to go see the Eagles Friday night.
Right. Well, just be careful. You know, you Fox people, man. You go to places like Vegas. Too soon?
Too soon.
Mark's got no comment on that.
Yeah,
so let's just
no
move ahead.
Yes.
Let's get into the matchups. And hey, KC Buffalo, man. I mean, it's become the game that we all look forward to pretty much every year. But I mean, the stakes are incredibly high. Again, I mean, it's not a stretch to say that whoever wins this game ends up, depending on what happens with the Colts, maybe ends up with home field throughout the entire AFC playoffs.
Yeah.
So this is a monster game. What do you make of it?
Yeah, the one thing we have learned about Buffalo is when they play KC in the regular season, they can win. Then it comes down to the postseason. Like I look at them right now. I think Milano. I don't know if he's still out. I know he's been injured. Ed Oliver, who's one of the best defensive linemen in football, he went out. He's on IR now. I think a biceps injury. So anyhow, I like KC scares me because they're playing well right now, and their offense is playing well right now, and they got their weapons back, and they've had some injuries on the offensive line, but because they've become more balanced, because they've got their weapons back, they've been able to do a better job protecting Mahomes. The other night, man, watching Mahomes just orchestrate, even though against Washington, in the first two drives, he threw back-to-back picks, right, each drive, but the time that he had in the pocket, the time that he had to survey the defense. The time that he had to make a decision and deliver a strike was unbelievable. And that one no-look pass where he's eyeballing the linebacker and he's got somebody out on the left-hand side, he's just like this, just laser, boom, right on the backer, and the backer's just like frozen, like, where are you going? And he goes, hink, that way, and boom, it's right there. It was like, it's just one of those things where you watch him and you're like, oh, shoot. Like, they are back. I just think they're a better football team than Buffalo right now. I think they're a much better football team. And, that complementary nature of football the last couple of years, before early in Mahomes' career, it was offense, right? It was all, they're going to hang 35 on you every time they go out. And they were so dynamic on the offensive side of the ball. And then for a couple of years, it was, hey, man, this defense and Chris Jones is carrying them. Karlaftis and Chris Jones, and that's carrying them. And now when you watch them, all of a sudden, it's the confluence of both the defense and the offense coming together and complementing one another. And their defense is playing really good. Their offense is playing really good. I think right now, if I did my own personal power rankings, which I'm not apt to do, but I would make them the number one team in football, even though they don't have the best record.
Really?
Yeah.
Put them ahead of the Colts. Put them ahead of Green Bay. Put them ahead of things like that.
I think I would put them right on the top. Then maybe it would go maybe just off the top of my head, it would probably go Colts, Green Bay, somewhere, maybe Colts first, Green Bay third, like that type of thing. Then you'd have to throw in like the New England Patriots, the Broncos right after that. Like they're sitting at 6-2. So, but I think even though this is why the record, like your thing with Parcells, which is you lied about it because you tend to do that when we're just having conversations. You're like, Parcells said, because you're a New Englander and you grew up and you love Parcells, and Giants, and then all that New England area, even though that's New York, Northeast, and you're like, what Parcells said. You said this on the radio the other day, and I just rolled my eyes. You're like, what Parcells says. You are what your record says you are, and I completely believe that. Well, no, the record says that they're not the best team, but guess what? The eyeballs tell us they are the best team. And you have to admit that even though Kansas City right now has a worse record than Denver, you would concede that you think Kansas City's probably a little bit better than Denver right now, wouldn't you?
But that's because of their... No,
just answer the question.
I'm not...
Are you going to answer?
Yes.
Aha!
But...
Yes.
But what factors in is that because Kansas City's Kansas City, and because what they've done, you give them a benefit of the doubt that they've earned, so that when you look at their record, you can make the argument, well, their record isn't truly, they aren't what their record says they are.
So you're saying that that's a farce then?
I will make a special exception to the Parcells rule, the Parcells corollary.
Gotcha.
I will make a special exception for the Chiefs.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got it.
For every other team in the NFL, you are what your record says you are, but not the Chiefs because they've earned the benefit of the doubt. There you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Well, when you look at Buffalo, though, is there anything about Buffalo that you don't put on Josh Allen? Is it one of those things that Josh Allen is doing everything he possibly can? He's Superman, but because of maybe not good enough weapons around him, or because of the defense, he's somewhat handicapped in a matchup like this against Mahomes.
I think because the defense is struggling, right? Now, last week, I think James Cook had some ridiculous amount. Did he have 200 yards rushing last week?
The Panthers, Mark, with Andy Dalton.
I understand that, but Andy Dalton wasn't playing defense.
Okay.
If he was, that he'd had 300 yards rushing. So, yeah, but I get
your point.
I understand that. So, I would say this: when you are a superstar that Josh Allen is and an MVP, and your defense struggles, you put more on your plate as a quarterback because you know that you're going to have to at some point outscore teams. At some point, you're going to have to make decisions that aren't the most judicious decisions because you understand that your defense at times won't be able to hold up, especially in a game like this. So the thing I always worry about a game like this with a quarterback like Josh is you getting into the red zone and saying, man, I got to push this ball into coverage. I had to push this ball into a team meeting and hope my guy comes out of the team meeting with the ball. And that'll happen occasionally, but more often than not, what'll happen is in critical moments, bad things will happen to your football team. And that's what I would worry about Buffalo. That's why balance is so important. That's why, wins shouldn't be a quarterback statistic. They're a team statistic. And when you're kind of making up for or trying to make up for some injuries on the defensive side, lack of production sometimes on the defensive side, you have to take a few chances that normally you wouldn't take. And so those are things that concern me about this game for Buffalo.
James Cook went for 216 yards
216
against the Panthers
yeah,
and two touchdowns. So you like Kansas City. We'll see if they show up in our moneymaker picks later on. And, boy, you want to pay attention to these moneymaker picks.
That's right.
If you're looking to make big money.
If you're looking to break even, we're the people to see right now. I think we're going to start over.
It's a new season.
It's a new season.
We're both 12-12.
Yeah.
New season.
We went through not quite the first half of the season.
All these NFL people tell me now that the first month or so of the season simply an extension of training camp, preseason football. Then it gets real.
Yeah, it gets real.
All right. The Vikings getting ready to take on the Lions. What do you make of what's going on where Carson Wentz has apparently felt that he had to come out and say, no. The Vikings weren't making me play hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't doing that to me. It was my own choice or the trainer.
Right.
But they weren't forcing me to go back out there. I don't know. I mean, the more you look at the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy and how his injury time off continues to just kind of drag on, do you get the sense that they just don't want to put J.J. McCarthy out there?
What is J.J. McCarthy? He played one good quarter? Like, how many games does he play? I don't even know. Like, the guy is unavailable. His rookie year, he tears some cartilage in his knee and then has, season-ending knee surgery. And now he's got the world's worst ankle injury, apparently, because it's been out forever, to the point where you're putting Carson Wentz in there and, and he's beat up and he can't. And that's, I'll give Carson, I'll take him at face value, and I'll take and I believe what Minnesota wasn't forcing him to go out there. Players want to play, and players want to play injured, and that's part of the game, and that's part of what you do as a player. But you look at where they are right now, and the decision they made to let both Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones walk out of their building to count on a guy who had a knee surgery that initially he was diagnosed with, he's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. And then all of a sudden it's a season-ending injury because he had a cartilage, repair or whatever, as opposed to just getting it snipped out and moving on. So they sewed it back in there. And now all of a sudden you've got the ankle injury that's kept you out, for how many weeks? I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it is.
Played 2 games this year.
He's played 2 games.
2 games.
And now you're going to face Detroit, who is hunting, whose offense has just been awesome, with Gibbs. Like, Jahmyr Gibbs has just been incredible. And, you're going to put Iblack out there? Dude, you're in trouble, man. Like, the Minnesota Vikings, it's official. They are in trouble. And the fact that they went down this road with this kid who only had, a handful of starts in college? I think he started 1 year in college. This is, like, being available is a skill set. Being available, and I've always said this about anybody's career, but you got to play hurt, and you got to play injured, and you got to play well hurt and injured. And he hasn't played hurt or injured, and he hasn't played well at any point except 1 quarter this year. So that one is scary, because that was a team that everybody thought was made to compete in this division, and all of a sudden you look in this division right now with Chicago, right? You look at this division with Detroit, with Green Bay. The Minnesota Vikings are the 4th team in that division who pushed Detroit last year. They took 2nd in the division, but pushed Detroit last year for that division crown.
Won 14 games.
Won 14 games.
But the moment you drafted J.J. McCarthy, we knew we were going to be having this conversation.
Yeah, but why?
Well, but
But why?
It's not a question of why. It's a question of once they chose to do that, it's like any quarterback that you draft that high, you know you're going to get him in there sooner rather than later. And so to your point, you had a 14-win team that had Sam Darnold, but you had to let Sam Darnold go because you invested this high pick in J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
And now it looks like Minnesota doesn't want to play J.J. McCarthy. Well, I mean, you telegraphed this move because the moment you drafted him, you were going to have to go to him and run the risk that a team that won 14 games one year might be lucky to win 7 or 8 the next.
They're going to have to put him in there, see what he does, right? And then you have to be willing. And this is really tough for good franchises. You know, you look at the New England Patriots last year. They went after Mayo. They went after Alex Van Pelt to be their OC. They did a bunch of different things. And all of a sudden, as an organization, Robert Kraft looked at the organization and said, is this the right move for my young quarterback moving forward? And ultimately, he decided, nope, it's not. And he ripped off the Band-Aid. Look at what San Francisco did with Trey Lance, right? They played him. He broke his ankle while he was playing. He was not a primetime player. He was not ready. And they said, listen, man, we got to move on. So the moral of the story is you've got to be able to rip off the Band-Aid when you make that decision. Is this guy going to lead us in the future? Can he do it both health-wise and knowledge-wise and expertise-wise? And then ultimately, if he can't, then you've got to pick Mr. Irrelevant and have him have unbelievable success like San Francisco did.
But it's easy when you're in Chicago.
You didn't even get that. That was a joke.
What?
You had to pick Mr. Irrelevant?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what are the odds of that happening?
Exactly.
Almost zero.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to, in all seriousness, you got to make a decision. The good organizations rip off the Band-Aid. They make the decision, go, hey, man, maybe he'll have success somewhere else. But we see so many things that are red flags for us. We're not going to work through it.
But it makes it real easy for Chicago with Caleb Williams, New England with Drake May, Atlanta with Michael Penix, Denver with Bo Nix, Washington with Jaden Daniels to say, all right, let's commit to our rookie quarterback and see what happens. But Minnesota, right from the get-go, the moment they drafted J.J. McCarthy, you knew you were looking at a different kind of situation because that's a good football team.
Yeah.
And what do you do? And it seems like they're kind of trying to figure things out. Some other games to talk about here as I look at my handy-dandy notebook. All right, speaking of Bo Nix and Denver going up against Houston.
Yeah.
And all right, what about it? We saw Denver break out last week against Dallas, look real good on offense. Denver does have a top 10 ranked offense, which is amazing if you want to talk about numbers versus the eye test, because the eye test doesn't tell you you're looking at a top 10 offense. But going up against Houston, there's been a lot of talk here in Denver about the Texans, number 1 rated defense in the NFL. But are they really that formidable? Because you look at the last 4 weeks, they've won 3 out of their last 4, but they feasted on Tennessee. They feasted on a Baltimore team that doesn't have Lamar Jackson. They beat San Francisco and Mac Jones last week. And in between, they lost to Seattle.
Yeah.
So who are these Texans? Are they
I think
that legit?
Like, you know, the old Sesame Street, one of these things is not like the other.
Yes.
Right? Like, there's 2 teams in Texas. There's the Dallas Cowboys and there is the Houston Texans. And one of these defenses is not like the other. Like, I was a high school wrestler. And when you're a high school wrestler.
Alaska heavyweight state champion.
Yes, I was. But when you're a high school wrestler, like a really bad, you know what they call a really bad wrestler? Like a guy that is just a terrible wrestler?
Like a mauler?
No, they call him a fish.
A fish?
Yeah, because he's flopping around on the mat on his back. Right? He's a fish. A bad, like really bad wrestler is a fish.
Okay.
We used to have this drill. I love this drill because it's like it's my time. It was all about bullying. You know, you like good old fashioned bullying.
Right.
And there's something to it, right? We used to have, as a matter of fact, my high school wrestling team, Robert Service High School. Like we had this badass wrestling team. We'd have 150 kids come out for wrestling. And back in my day, you could never do this today. Like nowadays, we got to put a helmet on just to even think about riding a skateboard, right? Like, nobody wore a helmet. What are you guys, wussies? But you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
Like we'd never in our day.
Yeah,
nobody could fit a helmet on your head. but like it was just different back then. So we had. Wrestling practice was after school. It was like at 3:30 or whatever, right? And we would have literally all these dudes, like 30-year-old dudes, show up that were like collegiate wrestlers that happened to live in Alaska. You know, this guy come from Iowa. And they'd be in there and they're pissed about something like work or whatever. And they would literally beat the shit out of us, right?
So wait a minute, your high school wrestling coach allowed 30-year-old men.
Oh yeah, he would invite them to
like come into practice.
Former collegiate wrestlers, yeah.
To wrestle his high school wrestlers.
Yeah, and you would be wrestling in a group. So we would do these things, these drills, like, so you work takedowns, right?
Yeah.
Or working takedowns today. And we would have champ and chump drills. And so you would be out there as like one of these 30-year-old men would be out there in takedowns, champ and chump drills, and they would try to stay out there. The whole period might be 20 minutes. Stay on the mat the whole 20 minutes, and you'd have a line of 12, 15 guys in your weight class. And they'd try to stay out there, or you try to stay out there for the whole 20 minutes. And all comers. The one guy come out, you take him down, boom, give me the next dude, right? Done. And then we had chump. So if you were a fish, you get out in the middle, and we would beat the shit out of you, right? And if you were a chump, and it was awesome. Like, that stuff is awesome to me. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys are. They're a fish.
Oh, okay, back to the Cowboys.
That's what the Dallas Cowboys.
I was enjoying this wrestling story.
So the Dallas Cowboys they're defensively, they're a fish.
Yeah.
They're awful. They can't defend the run. They give up big plays like it's their job. Right? You get an explosive. You get an explosive. You get an explosive. 20-yard plays, we're giving them away. Come on down. Cal Worthington Ford. We're giving away 20-yard plays. Come on down to Dallas. Get your 20-yarder. And the Houston Texans are the exact opposite of that. Like, these dudes are legitimate, absolutely ass kickers.
We had mentioned him. We had Dan Orlovsky from ESPN on our radio show, and we asked him to describe this Houston defense. He said, violent.
Yeah.
They're a violent defense. All 11 of their guys, they're not just out there to beat you, to tackle you. He was talking about Will Anderson saying his mission in life is to, like, break your face mask.
Right. Dude, I have done a bunch of Houston games with Will since Will Anderson got into the league. And that dude on the edge, he legitimately tries to break you. He is like Ivan Drago of Rocky, right? I must break him. If he dies, he dies. You know, I mean, he is trying to murder dudes on the edge. It is so much fun to watch. I mean, he is one of those dudes that when he strikes you, like, you piddle in your pants a little bit. You're like, your legs buckle. You look like a Jello leg, right? It is so much fun to watch on film because I've been there.
Yeah.
And I've been the dispenser of justice, and I've also had some justice dispensed on myself. And it's like, it's one of those things that makes me go, oh, that is awesome. At the same time, I'm like, gosh, I'm glad I'm not the one getting crushed like that.
Final thought before we get to our moneymaker picks. Final thought on the whole wrestling thing.
Yeah.
30-year-old man, former thing. Yeah. Did your dad poolside ever show up and want to wrestle?
Shit. So you got to understand, my dad.
I mean, poolside is just yoked. He's in his 80s. He's yoked.
Yeah, he's 86. He's on the roof shoveling snow as we speak.
Yeah.
He just the guy doesn't stop, and like, we're together, and people think we're brothers.
Right.
Like, he's an absolute freak show, and so poolside takes me to practice. We have invite your parents to practice one day, right? It's a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And I was young. I was like maybe a freshman. So I didn't have a driver's license yet. So my dad takes me in, and, we're going to do wrestling practice. And so he's like kind of bebopping around, and he's pretty yoked, I mean, he was a bodybuilder. Like, the guy is fit,
yes.
Right? Really fit. And so we had a heavyweight. This is before there was weight classifications. So we had a heavyweight who was a senior. I think I was a freshman. His name was Roy Willis. And Roy was every bit of 6'5", 340.
Oof.
As a high school wrestler, right? Oof. Big, thick, like, just country. And so my dad has never wrestled a day in his life. He went to the Brooklyn School of Automotive Trades, right?
Yes.
He was the only white dude on the track team. Like, this is my dad, right? And so he's kind of, warming up, doing his thing, right? I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, it's embarrassing, right? I'm 15 years old, right? Yeah. I'm like, what is embarrassing? And my dad goes, I think I can take him. I look at him. I'm like, what? Yeah. I think I can take him.
The heavyweight.
He goes, I think I can take him. And I'm like, Dad, you've never wrestled. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right? And I'm like, what do you do? He goes, hold on. And so he walks over and challenges Roy Willis to a wrestle-off.
6'5", 340.
Yeah, and he challenges him to Roy. And he's never wrestled a day in his life. And so Roy's like, looks at me and goes, all right. So they get in the mat, right? Whistle blows. Roy takes him in some type of headlock, throws him, hip tosses him, lands on his ribs and breaks his freaking ribs, 3 ribs. So he's down there. Roy pins him. He gets up and he's like, he walks over. He's like, hey, good. He shakes hands. He walks over to me. He goes, I think I broke my ribs. And he goes, I got to go to the hospital. So he takes off. So then I have to call my mom after wrestling practice. Bring, bring, bring. Hello. Hi, honey. Hi. Hey, can you pick me up? Well, where's Dad? Dad went to the hospital. Who does that? Who does that?
Oh, is he gonna be mad at us because he watches the podcast all the time?
No, he's gonna laugh.
I pull Mr. Schlereth. I know all due respect.
What could you possibly
Mr. Schlereth,
be
that's
thinking?
awesome. That's awesome. Look what you created.
He's like, I think I can take it. I can take it.
All right, let's get to our picks.
All right. I start first this year.
Yeah.
I'm a
this
whopping,
year. Oh, it's this year. We are really starting over.
I'm a whopping 12-12, but we erased that because that was just a warm up. All right, here are my first picks of the season. Okay,
here we go.
I am taking the Detroit Lions because I think they're the best team playing Minnesota. I think Minnesota is in a world of hurt right now. Going to start eye black. Detroit given 8.5 points. I'm going to give the points. I'm taking Detroit. Then the New England Patriots. I've called 2 of their games. Both of them blowout games. Drake May playing incredibly well right now. Guys playing great. They are taking on the Atlanta Falcons -5.5. I've got the Patriots. I think they win that one going away. And then it's the Colts and the Steelers, I believe, right?
Yes.
Steelers.
Yep.
The Colts playing great football, dominating both lines of scrimmage. I think this Pittsburgh defense right now is they're a farce, man.
Yep.
You saw what Green Bay did in the second half to them. I like the Colts. They're given 3. I'll take the Colts -3.
All right. I'm going to go San Francisco -2.5 over the Giants. I just don't see
a loss.
I just don't see San Francisco losing 2 games in a row.
Okay.
Giants without Cam Scatterbo. So I'm going to go with the 49ers -2.5. I'm going to go with Dallas -2.5 over Arizona. They're a completely different team at home. Cowboys are just a completely different team at home, so I will take Dallas -2.5. And I'm going to take Kansas City -2.5 over Buffalo. I mean,
I like it.
The Chiefs, they are better than the record says they are. And they just look like a force. And I think they're at a place right now where they would love to go into Buffalo and just end the debate for the regular season about who the better team is. So give me Kansas City.
All right. I love it. I love the picks.
Have fun in Vegas. You're going to be calling Raiders,
Jacksonville
have
in
fun.
Vegas.
Yep.
Go to the Eagles concert in Vegas. That's going to be a blast, no question about it. And that's that, I guess.
That's
right? That's that. So everybody involved in the Sink Truth podcast, thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Please make sure you share the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll be back with you next week to wrap up. What is it, week 9 already? Lord have mercy. Wrap up week 9 on Monday.